Alrighty. We are having a look at a game called Genital Jousting. Bit of a quirky one, this one. And I'm happy to be playing it. My name's Jordan from D1 DLC. Thanks for joining us and having a look at this one. This game's actually been out for about a year and been played by some of the big guys on YouTube, but I thought I would have a look at it. So let's check this out. Let's go story mode and see what it's all about. I guess the question is, why? Why do we make a game about dicks? And let's check this out. Go to the left, to the right, basic controls, okay. Go to the top and the bottom. I like that. Knock the apple off it. Oh, there we go. Oh, he ate it. Okay, so that reverses the controls. Now I'm controlling him from the butt. Oh. Oh, eat another apple. Okay, alright, let's do that. Come on, apple. Oh, that's just wrong. Alright, from... Okay, so that's front and back. Go to the sandbox. I'm in the sandbox, yep. I love the physics in this. No one will ever love you. Oh, I'm stuck. These guys come in and they're... Oh, they're angry. Oh no! He's got a piercing.
John woke to the shrill cry of his alarm clock and lay there, rigid. His usual morning condition. But there was another reason John couldn't get out of bed. It was the weight. A weight that had nothing to do with his muscles or fat or sweaty blankets. John was weighed down by a piece of paper. The invitation to his high school reunion. From across the years, the words he'd heard in the schoolyard were still clear. You're a loser. No one will ever love you.
Poor fella. 3 months until the reunion, okay. What do I need to do here? I need to flip around. He's not... Oh, here we go. Now he's moving. Oh.
John needed to shower and wash off the sweaty stink of desperate sadness.
Right, let's go in the shower then. I have to turn the water on there. Oh yeah. Cleanliness is rising. Look at that. Give it a little scrubby dub. Yui! Oh, get back in here. It's not finished. There we go. Come on, buddy. Alright. Now what? Have I not finished? Oh, brush my teeth. Okay. Put that away. Of course. Of course. What did they say? Get dressed for work. Okay. Oh, look at that. Our little tissues. Alright, I'm ready to go.
John had 3 months until the reunion to turn his life around. First, he needed to clean up. John called it his study, but it was basically for games and porn. Mostly porn.
Alright, let's head out this way here. Clean the dishes. Let's get the other one down here. Alright, okay, clean dishes, done. Take care of the leftovers.
The only reason he'd ordered so much takeout was because Angel, the delivery peen, made John feel butterflies in his testicles.
What am I doing with the leftovers here? I'm making a mess, that's for sure. Should I put them in here? Let's try. Nope. Oh, I got pain because of... Oh, I can eat them. Oh, that makes sense. Let me get my butt. There we go. He's slurping up the... Oh yeah, there we go.
John suddenly realized the time. Distracted by his new drive to improve his life, he had become late. He needed to hurry, or he'd miss the bus to work.
Let's go.
John had left his apartment late, but if he caught the express bus, he might make it to work on time. John didn't really like his job, but it had two qualities in its favor. One, he could pay his rent, and two, Barbara. Currently John's top candidate for his reunion date. He tried to start a conversation and did not get the reaction he'd hoped for. It was probably because he was a minimum wage peen. She could probably sense it. John noticed a moderately attractive peen waiting at the stop.
All right, on the bus we go. On the way to work. Here we go.
The office hummed with cold fluorescent lighting. The air was cold and stale, lifeless.
Flesh core.
How long had John worked here? Long enough to deserve better.
Sorry.
John was late, but he felt daring. He could sneak into the office through the archives, or he could stroll through the front entrance with enough confidence to bluff his boss.
Which way? Which way? I'm gonna go this way.
John decided to creep in through the archives.
Damn, alright. I'm not exactly being
Despite
quiet.
the obvious flaws, John thought it was a good plan and not a recipe for humiliation.
And it's locked. What about from here? Stop picking that up. Here we go, here we go.
Everyone else was hard at work, grinding away. John might actually get away with this. The boss. He homed in on John, deluging him with spit and buzzwords. The boss ran out of synonyms for John's failings and gave him an ultimatum. Barbara would definitely not be interested in dating John if he was unemployed. He had to get to the quality assurance department.
Alrighty, here we go. I've started work, at least.
There might be a faulty dildo just waiting to cost the company millions in lawsuits. John would have to test them all.
Oh, man.
Every atom of John's rectum began to vibrate with the frequencies of pure pleasure. His orifice was a paradise. This vibrator would end all wars. It was good.
We'll get ready for the next one, shall I? Let's push this button. Come on. Ooh.
That one was good too.
Get Lush Gaming. Hey guys, how you going? Thanks for dropping in and say hello. Just trying this new game here. Genital
The
Jousting.
Prostate Pounder X900 series,
Prostate
the most
pounder.
advanced vibrator on the market.
Oh, let's try and get this one here. I did it again.
Sweet
Oi.
mother of no, John, that's too much pleasure for one anus to handle.
Oh, It's definitely a twisted game, this one. Oh, here he comes. Literally. Oh, he's going nuts. I'm just gonna go chaos here and just try and wreck everything. Boom. Soothe, okay.
John's butt hurt, but his heart was proud.
Oh, we got ice.
If that vibe had gotten out into the world, it could have injured a customer as badly as it had ravaged his anus.
Apply a band-aid. Alright, let's get this down here. Go on, buddy. Get on.
The boss arrived and congratulated John on taking one for the team and jumping on the hand grenade, or in this case, putting it up his butt. John was having trouble following the conversation
It's very
because
interesting,
he was
this
quite
game.
high on suppository painkillers.
Oh, poor fella.
And then the boss said it. Promotion.
Promotion.
Finally, the company was recognizing John's hard work and ignoring his minor faults like lack of talent, constant lateness, and flatulence.
Alrighty, this is the story mode. This is on PC. It's available on Steam.
John's new office
Look at his
smelled
office.
like polished wood
Definitely,
and success.
If you get this,
John's
we could do some
success.
multiplayer stuff, I tell you.
Sam dropped by.
I'm playing the story
He'd
mode
heard
at
John
the
had
moment.
been hurt. John said he was fine. He
wanna
wasn't a
eat that
softy
cake,
to
Connor.
complain about a mildly ruptured
Eat
rectum.
it.
Besides,
Nope.
he had a promotion to celebrate. John had met Sam in college during a sports ball game. He'd given him some stiff competition.
Can I get it in? Can I get it in? Come on. No. Let's go back this way. Come on, come on, come on. He got some stiff competition. Get it? I know you guys like soccer over there, eh? Can I get it in?
Not stiff enough.
Oh.
They'd started at Flesh Corp product testing together. Nothing builds a friendship like a long day of dildo mounting.
Oh, these guys. The best of
Yes.
friends.
John had known Sam for a while. But John couldn't hang out with Sam. He had a reunion to prepare for. He was going out with Barbara tonight.
Go backwards
He
here.
just had to ask her.
Hey, Death Sandals. Yeah, this is definitely one of those quirky ones. I think I'm really enjoying the story mode so far. I know multiplayer is one that you
Everyone
need
was quiet, listening
3,
to
4,
the
5 people
presentation.
playing that.
A good moment for John to ask Barbara out.
Alright, where's Barbara? Which one's Barbara? Get under here.
That's not Barbara, John.
That's not Barbara. This one?
Nope.
That's not Barbara. Barbara.
Warmer.
Warmer, okay. Is this Barbara? I think it...
Barbara agreed.
Oh,
Well, she
Barbara
nodded.
has agreed.
Sort of.
Okay.
Things were really going John's way.
Well, he's happy. Look at all those colours coming out. I would love to team up on this one.
John tried to act as suave as possible and listen to Barbara talk business. He didn't want to blow his chances at
I'll make
long-term
you
love
drink.
and
Yeah, oh,
short-term
yeah.
sex. Barbara began to
pepper.
talk about monthly feedback figures, and John started to zone out, imagining him and Barbara at the reunion, a power couple. She would make his classmates sick with envy, if he could get her to tone down the boring chatter.
Alright, so she's pretty boring. She's
John's
talking about...
balls
Okay,
were
let's get...
gripped
Yeah.
by certainty. Barbara was the perfect date for the
Let's get some
reunion.
drinks.
John thought he would
Show
impress
out
Barbara by
my
going
skills,
behind the
yep.
bar and showing the bartender a thing or two. Despite Barbara's protests that it was unnecessary, John knew that a true gentleman should follow her home.
I'll follow
He
her
was
home,
excited. There was still 3 months until the reunion, and he'd already landed his perfect date. All he had to do was seal the deal.
Hey. Seal
Barbara
the deal.
thanked John
Okay.
for the evening and politely did not invite him inside for coffee or sex, even though John had dropped some pretty obvious hints he'd be into
He's
both.
not getting any.
Or just the sex.
Oh,
The door slammed on John's hopes. He didn't understand. He'd laughed at
You're
all
watching
Barbara's
this at
pie
work?
chart jokes. He'd listened to her
I
boring
really hope he
stories.
doesn't look over your shoulder as well.
The blank eyes of the lawn flamingos were witnesses
Oh,
to
he's got no
John's shame.
self-worth. Oh, which way do we go? Is that a bird? That is awesome.
John began the lonely walk home, thoughts tumbling like shoes in a dryer. He had done everything wrong. Barbara had led him on just to humiliate him.
I think my house is this way.
John felt empty. How could he get love?
Yep. Okay. Feeling empty.
He felt like
Something's
he was missing something.
Yep.
Some key to attracting sex. But John was shooting blanks. What
Shooting
did
blanks.
Peens want?
So many jokes in this. I absolutely love it.
Then it hit John out of nowhere.
Need
Stuff.
more stuff.
He had the success. He just needed to show it off. But where was John going to get all the stuff he wanted? John needed a sign.
Buttloads. Buttloads of stuff. A buttload. All right. I'm at buttloads.
A new day, a new John.
Oh, look at that.
He waited outside his local buttload store for it to open, eager to
Insert
spend his
tip for
promotion
money.
bonus on stuff. The best way to impress women.
Oh, money. Can I pick it up? Okay, let's put it in my butt. Cash it. Yeah.
There's nothing like a rectum full of money to make a peen feel like a man.
Alright, let's do this. A rectum full of money. Make me feel like a man. Gotcha. Oh, sorry, buddy. Knocked your hat off. I didn't mean to do that. This is gonna suck. I need to go butt first, maybe. Oh. How do I do this? Hold on. Can I go under here? What am I doing here?
Suddenly it
Oh.
occurred to John that he
Damn,
was
that was
going
hard.
to make a lot
Get
of
it?
choices. And every one of those choices would tell the world who he was. Did he want cheese or
Take it.
sausage?
Takes the sausage.
Delicious.
Oh, what did he spit out then? Oh, the pigs.
Also
Watch.
delicious.
Yeah, more of
How
that.
could John decide?
Oh, my balls
What
got
would a date
trapped.
think
Oh,
when
yeah.
they sat in John's home? Comfort or style?
What do I want? Comfort or style? Oh, I'm gonna go. I'm a comfort. Definitely. Can I get up on it? Yeah, that's it. What do I do now? Can't go. Can I take it with me? Whoa,
Nothing says
okay.
style like an overpriced and uncomfortable chair. John weighed up all the differences, but this was a tough choice.
Yeah, take that one.
John chose the extremely, obviously bad TV.
Oh, I'm gonna go digital.
John realized
Love
that
how
it was
he's-
only 2 months and
Comfort for the
29
win, that's
days
right.
until the reunion.
2 months and 29 days, so a whole day's passed.
Time
3 months
flies.
until the
Cactus
reunion.
or rose? Was
Oh.
John a rugged hero or a romantic poet?
Oh, I'm gonna go cactuses. Less. Oh no! No, drop that. I'm gonna go cactuses because less water. Take my money.
John had killed every plant he'd ever owned.
Yeah.
This one would be a challenge.
Oh, okay. What happened?
There was nothing John could take with him to the grave.
Oh, okay. Done. $750. Give me a cardboard box. I don't care.
Except his coffin. John
Except
liked
his
to
coffin.
get his pizza delivered. That way he could see Delilah, the delivery peen. She
Nothing wrong
always
with
made
that.
him smile.
Nothing wrong with a little bit of pineapple.
Delilah thought pineapple on pizza was gross. This way, she would never know John's shameful tastes. What bedding would Delilah prefer? John couldn't help wondering.
I'm going to say she's probably not pizza bed style.
Regular sheets,
Yep.
just like the regular pizzas he regularly ordered. Devoid of any sense of style, buying new clothes would be John's toughest challenge.
Okay, let's go for...
John felt sharp,
Yeah.
and also like a phony.
Oh.
A nice fit, but could John pull off the colour?
There we go. There we go. I'm happy with that. Take my
John
money.
decided to go with the outfit. Music, the food of love.
Yep.
Should John go
Cassettes.
retro sophisticated or just retro? John's personal nostalgia was more
He's setting
important
his house
than
up for a
sound
chick that
quality.
doesn't even love him.
Every can was made of metal, pulled from the bones of the earth, wrestled to the surface and smelted in roaring furnaces.
Don't get angry at me.
Also, John could buy peas preserved in salty water and stick them up his butt.
There we go. I got buttloads
John's
of
new
stuff.
purchases were on the way to his apartment.
This is
All
how I
he
see
had
The
to do
Sims
was
normally.
invite a date over. One look at all his stuff, and they'd be overwhelmed with sexual desire. John felt proud, and also hungry. It gave him an idea. He should invite Delilah over for dinner.
Yes, you should.
John was excited. Delilah was on her way. He just needed to set the mood to romance.
Do I need to put that? Okay, candles. I need to put a candle, a match in my butt. Okay, alright. Let me just light this up. Light that up. Is there more candles or is that it? I think that's it. Oh, that was close. Alright, scatter the roses. Where? I didn't think I bought roses. Oh.
John hoped she didn't have allergies.
Let's bring some of these out here. Scatter these around. And we want some music. Oh, that is excellent. A tape actually went in.
That must be Delilah at the door.
Get the door.
The door opened and there was Delilah. John gulped down his nerves and invited her in. John could tell that Delilah was impressed by his stuff.
Want some wine?
It was time to crank up the mood to seduction.
Alright, let's get that wine
John
out.
wanted to offer Delilah wine, but he'd already popped his cork. Delilah started looking as nervous as John felt. He assumed it was because she was shy too. They really were compatible. Of course, at the reunion, he couldn't mention Delilah was a delivery peen. That would be embarrassing. Delilah suddenly headed for the door. And just like that, John was alone again. Delilah hadn't even looked at his stuff.
So his self-worth just went all
The
the
rejection
way.
burned. John felt insignificant. He had everything he wanted. The job, the money,
Destroy
the stuff.
it all. Okay.
Stuff.
Let's get
He
angry.
wanted to destroy all of it. Shove it into the abyss. Your dead technology tapes. His stuff didn't matter. He was a shaft in the machine, a lonely piston pumping away like all the others in his rigid place.
He's getting
Nothing
angry.
special about him. Why should Delilah or Barbara or any other peen be interested in dating him? He was just like everyone
I
else.
want to get
and
that
they could
table
tell.
over.
John wanted to be special, but he had to face the numb truth. He wasn't. And all the money and stuff he'd ever accumulated wouldn't change that. He thought it would make him unique, but it just made him more like everyone else.
Fuck off, inanimate objects.
He should leave it all. Get out of this little town and go on an adventure. See the world. He was a boring corporate drone, but he didn't have to be. He could be a traveler, exploring jungles and
we could
climbing
travel.
mountains. He could visit the wonders of the world and get his picture taken.
Sayonara, stew.
Like Peony Island, the unspoiled paradise he'd seen on TV.
Oh, I got a
That was
glitch.
it. John had to travel.
We're traveling. This dick is
Bags packed,
on the road.
John was ready to put 5,000 miles between him and his problems. He was leaving it all behind.
No. Okay. So I accidentally just got on the conveyor belt and I'm stuck. I literally I have to restart the chapter.
Bags packed, John was ready to put 5,000 miles between him and his problems. He was leaving it all behind.
Yeah, there's my money. Take my money. Alright, let's get my bag up, but not jump on. I think that's what I had to do. Okay, do I now get on there as well? Yes.
John was
okay.
so close. He could almost smell the
That's-
freedom of
It's a
the
complete
skies.
game, alright. Yeah. Alright, do I need to talk to this dick? Nope. What's wrong, man?
Security sent John back through the detector.
Empty my pockets, okay. Get away.
John had forgotten he had his nail clippers with him. He'd have to buy another pair soon, or he'd look ridiculous.
Because he's got nails. That's right. That's like every other freaking...
When the acceleration of takeoff had slackened, John felt a sweet relief. He had left his worries on the runway. He was up in the clouds, on his way to
Is that one next to me dead? Oh wow.
John's adventure had begun at last.
Can I
And
eat them?
clearly it was a small world after all, and also a flat one. That was going to piss off the globeheads.
Experience the wonders, okay. So let's do this. That is excellent. I love the water animations. How do I experience the wonders though? Do I need to eat this stuff up my butt? Oh, I do too! How could I not check the top? Maddie, yeah, how you doing, alright? Absolutely. I don't know if it's clickbait because it's legit. It's a hard one. And it's about, you know, this guy named John. And I gotta stick these wonders of the world up my butt right now. Yeah! Don't need cheese here, trust me. Gas for days. Alright, so that's 2. This would be Russia, I reckon, up here. Let's go backwards. Can I get that in there? No. Surely this can. Yeah! Oh, Italy. Good times in Italy. Alright. Moving on. Big Ben. Give me some of that. Sounds like the same voice from a recent Hitman series. Oh, there you go. Brad would be able to tell me that because he loves those. Can I get the Statue of Liberty up? Hold on. Oh. Mother of Exiles, that's awesome. Right, moving on.
John was having fun, but something told him he needed to go home. Probably his empty bank account.
There must have been a time limit on that. And of course, yes,
John was on his way back home. He was out of money, but money can't buy love. What it can buy are the experiences that had made John a more interesting and developed person, with 100 Buttstagram photos to prove it. Finally,
Buttstagram.
everything was going smoothly. John
Maddie,
felt good to be back on the familiar ground of home.
Overcooked. I'll look
but he would feel
after
better
the
to be
stream,
on
I'll
the
check it
familiar
out.
mattress of home.
Collect my luggage. There it is. Is that mine?
That's not John's bag.
Oh, okay. I think it was light blue. Here it is.
Not that one either.
This one. Get back here. Got it. Oh, you. Sorry, hostess.
Despite John's swell of fresh optimism, traveling was exhausting, and he just really wanted to get home and get some sleep.
Come on, buddy. Where's that bus? Here we go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't leave without me. Let me on, let me on. Hello? There we go. On my way home. I've been overseas. Heaps of Buttstagram pics. Go left. Go right. Why is it doing this again? Do I need to eat this? Yeah. It's like reminding me of all the beginning stuff again. Find your locker. Yeah, probably that one. Yep. Oh, what's this? Take the love letter to her locker. What do you mean no one will ever like me? Oh, no, 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 not again, not again, not again. Ah, I'm feeling used. I'm being used.
Another nightmare. John's stress about getting a date for the reunion was making him think of her.
Oh, that's great.
Harmony.
He's sweating.
He
Look at his
hadn't
balls.
seen her in years.
His balls are sweating.
Would she be at the reunion? John shook off the thought. He wasn't a child. He was a fully grown penis.
6 weeks until the reunion. Time flies when you're having fun. This place is a mess.
John, why is the bathroom barricaded?
For skin's sake, is that a swan? John had no idea how it had gotten into his home or why it hated him so much. It would probably be best to leave it alone.
Leave me alone. It's biting my tip. There you go. I'm just gonna get clean and then I'm gonna get out of here. It took a dump too. Alright. I trashed this place. I forgot about that.
John's butt started to buzz. Had he left a vibrator up there? Whatever it was, he should get it out.
How do I get it out? There we go.
John's old phone. They really were indestructible. It was Sam calling.
Hey, Sam. Thanks, Jace. You have a good day and good luck at work, buddy.
He wanted to check in on John. The travel looked fun, but it was so sudden. Was John okay?
That's nice.
Sam was such a softie, always worrying about feelings. John had only one feeling, and it was the feeling of being awesome. He could drop Sam a text, but John was on a mission. The reunion was getting closer, and he had to get a date. Fortunately, John knew exactly where to find love.
Let's go have a look then.
John held his breath. He was about to meet his match. He had to reassure himself he could do this. He had a good job. He had nice stuff. He had traveled. He was ready to find love. On Weena, where all his sexy travel photos would give him the pick of the pack.
Of course. What do I need to do? Swipe. Swipe left.
Too skinny.
Helga.
Hot.
Wilma. Yeah,
Sexy.
right. Loves to eat out.
Very nice.
8 inches or more only. Nah.
Too short.
Extra slobby.
Too much foreskin.
Let's grab some noodles.
Nice shaft.
Sure.
Not
Whatever.
enough foreskin. Very hot.
Follow me on Budstagram.
Glasses.
1 hour later. Norma. Still going. Find the perfect match.
Yep, the pick of the pack.
Oh, okay. This is actually okay. Let's have a look. Megan. I like potatoes. I guess I just gotta say how many hours later, of course.
Yes! John had the pick of the pack.
He's splooge. I'm a very dirty peen, if you know what I mean.
John valued
straight
honesty in
into
a
it.
date, but he had been expecting a different kind of dirty. A sexy and much more hygienic
Flies.
kind.
Oh, it doesn't want to leave me alone. Oh, I feel abused. Maria 35. Just an ice queen looking for love. Oh, that's awesome.
John was scared of getting
on the
circumcised
skates.
so
All
late
right.
in life.
Let's go for a skate. I'm up. How did I do that? I got up. Sorry. Oh man, he got cut. Look, it's just a sausage.
Oh, better put that on ice. It'll be okay, John. Chick stick scars.
Oh
I hope.
man. I got cut. I love the
After
pain.
the
All right.
reattachment surgery, the doctors had told John to rest. So he did, for 6 hours.
Oh, he's been taped up. Look at him. Let's go this way. What kind of club is this? Find a seat. All right. Yeah. Take a seat. Oh, it's a comedy. It's a comedy show.
John was in stitches.
With you, John. There is so much to do in this game, and this is only the story mode. You know, it's got the whole multiplayer to go as well. Let's take some of this. Where am I going? that a house?
Karen had invited John straight over. She was not fooling around.
Karen
Very
wants
exciting. And now she wanted him round the back.
Karen wants... I gotta bring these flowers though, right? Karen wants it round the back. Okay. Oh, what
Karen
is
let
this?
John know that the cake was only for the kids.
Oh.
So was the candy and the piñata. And that she'd be back in 1 hour.
Oh, you dirty girl. I'm babysitting while she's gone out. Whoops, I broke the piñata. Let's open some presents. How about that clown? Can I get that clown? Alright, looked after the kids, and they're all asleep. Oh, that's nice. Devastated, absolutely. Oh, she loves a good picnic on the beach. Got anything to eat?
John laughed at Melody's hilarious bullfrog story. She was adorable. Everything was going perfectly.
And
John
perfect.
never saw Melody again.
Sharona 41 must be an alpha. Wear a suit.
So far, Weena had been a parade of weirdos and rejections. If this date didn't work out, John vowed to give it up. But maybe this time, maybe today would be his day.
Sharona sighed and said, "You'll do."
Oh, okay. Let's go this way then. Take a
John
seat.
felt a little underdressed and a lot overwhelmed. He was surrounded by strangers, and Sharona was glaring at the muscular groom. At least John hadn't missed out on the cake.
Don't embarrass your date. Okay.
John
I've done
realized
that.
that Sharona had only brought him to create some penis envy.
Penis
What a
envy.
terrible plan for so many reasons. John got excited.
He's gonna
They were
cut,
going to cut the cake.
cut the cake.
"He's mine!" Sharona screamed
Oh, look at her
as she
go.
launched
She's
herself
ruining
at the
it.
newlyweds. Suddenly, peens everywhere were yelling, "No, he's mine!" It was a no-holds-barred cockfight.
Oh. Oh, he's going for me. I'm gonna try and get out of here. Oh, damn it. He stabbed me. The dick's bleeding. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm leaving her. The priest is even trying to touch me. Get out. I wish there was like a jump key right there.
As John dodged flying glasses and cake, he felt a stab of envy. The groom had dozens of penises after him, and John had none. It was just wrong.
Run, 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 run! And I'm out. Okay. Oh, okay. Of course, the fieries come from that way.
John left the screams and explosions behind him. It was a disastrous end to
Season
his
finale,
online
Game of
dating.
Thrones with less.
He
Yeah,
had tried
absolutely.
everything, and it just wasn't good enough.
Eat some of
He
that.
wasn't
Yeah.
good enough.
Oh, okay. So there's little
Swans
challenges.
was so simple. If you gave them bread, they liked you. But you can't take a swan to a reunion.
So there must be more bread around to stick up my butthole. All weddings end up like this for me. That's awesome. Right. I'm drowning my sorrows, but there's more bread around. I need more bread. What's that cup? The music's awesome in this. I'd actually... I want this soundtrack. Get in the water. Maybe if I put them all in the water. This will finish this. Because it said 2 of 5 breads. Can I eat the... Let me see if we put them on my butt. No. Should I just follow the path? That would be maybe the... Yeah, the smart thing to do would be follow the path. Oh.
John was lucky he didn't have any bones to break. John wanted what that groom had. Love. Real love. The kind that makes penises fight to the death.
I need to catch the bus. Come on, bus. Here we go. This guy's sad, man. There we go. In we go. Take a shower. Okay.
Days later, the question was still bugging John. Why were so many penises in love with the groom, but no one loved John?
Have I got a karate thing on?
It wasn't fair.
Bandage.
John deserved attention. He had money and Buttstagram pics of his adventures. He even still had quite a lot of stuff. What did that penis have that John didn't?
Do the dishes, okay. Get those dishes. Put them in there. Last one. I think I smashed all the dishes. Watch some TV? Okay.
Then it hit John. That penis was so strong and hard. That's what everyone wanted. That's what John wasn't. That's what John had to be to find love. It was time to hit the gym.
Hit the gym, alright. Hit the sack first. Good night, John.
John arrived at his local gym. A part of him couldn't believe he was here. He just wasn't a gym penis. But John had tried everything else. If he wanted to get the perfect date, he'd need to sign up. Sam? What was he doing here? Of course, Sam was married. John's theory was right. If you get muscles, you get love.
I got no money.
Out of nowhere, Sam asked John how he was doing. Really doing. For a moment, John wanted to be honest. But he didn't come to gym to be a softie. John was here to get hard. It was John's first time in a gym since school. He tried not to read too much into that. John had 2 options. He could try month by month, or if he signed the 10-year Big Muscles Big Savings contract, he'd get a free easy squeezy water bottle.
There you go. Whichever
John
one I just
only
did
needed muscles for the reunion. After that, he wouldn't care. John wasn't a sucker. He knew the importance of hydration.
I need that bottle. Yes.
The gym's clean peen pool policy meant that John would have to do something he had never done before. Get naked in front of strangers. Maybe he could set a record for speediest cleanse.
Oh, let's do this.
John pretended he was alone and not surrounded
Why
by
they all touching
wrinkly,
me?
wet cocks. If John had to be clean, he might as well do his laundry too.
Where's the laundry around here? It's gotta be up
John
this way.
decided to take the risk that no one was enforcing the clean peen policy. Sam enthusiastically greeted John and offered to show him around.
Alright, let's have a look around.
Obviously not
Get
realizing
ripped. Swim
that
30
John was a
lanes.
natural athlete. The pool was like baptism, the icy water washing away John's flabby flab. He found his stroke, gliding through the water like an eel with large,
Racing.
ungainly testicles. This wasn't hard. John couldn't believe Peens actually got gold medals just for splashing around. Maybe he could become an Olympian. He was slowing down a bit, flailing a bit. But John pushed on, knowing that looking good in a Speedo was the only thing that could save him from an empty existence.
Oh, damn,
John wanted to take a break, forever. The pool was not his friend. It was not the blissful wet dream of his fantasies. It was a hellish prison of murderous fluid, determined to drown him. No wonder life crawled out of the sea, desperate to escape the water.
Come on, buddy. Couple more, one more.
Done. John had not drowned, but more importantly, he had not quit. Time to hit the weight room.
Where are we going? This way?
John's muscles bunched and bulged. The time in the gym was already paying off. Fresh from conquering the pool, John felt ready for anything the gym could throw at him, even heavy metal weights. Sam cheered John on, as if he needed it.
Smashing it. Look at that. Come back here, buddy.
Adrenaline coursed through John's veins, his butthole clenched like a fist.
His butthole clenched like a fist.
John was forging himself into the peen he saw on movie screens, bulging and sweat-slicked, hard and shiny. Boom! John was cocked and loaded. Didn't Sam ever get out of breath? The stream of encouragement was exhausting.
Whoa,
Slow
whoa, whoa,
and
whoa.
steady. That's right, John. Like a lover. Or pouring gravy.
Touch it, touch it. Oh, snap.
John, getting flung from fast-moving objects since preschool.
Well, I just screwed that up. Alright, that's awesome.
That had gotten John's heart rate up and his life expectancy down. John was sweating like a senator on a sex tape,
they're butt plugs.
but he wasn't done. John took a deep breath, clenched, and pulled. Sam made this look so easy.
Oh, man.
John squashed the thought. He'd just have to push harder.
It feels so wrong.
John tried to make eye contact with Sam, get in his head a bit.
I gotta beat him, I gotta beat him.
Sam didn't seem to notice John, but John could tell Sam was impressed. Even though he still hadn't looked at John, not that it mattered to John, because John was in the zone, deep in the zone.
Oh, snap.
With the sound of a deflating truck tire, John's sphincter gave out. Sam congratulated John for trying and told him it was okay to take things slow, as if John was going to quit. Well, he wasn't. John had a mission, and the reunion was getting closer.
6 weeks until reunion. You know what I might do here, though? I got 6 weeks until the reunion. I'm going to stop it here, and I'm going to do this again in a couple of nights' time from this point in time. So I want to say thank you to everyone who has dropped by and watched this so far. I've been doing it for like 50 minutes now, so that's crazy long for a clip to be up. And I'm going to keep that up there anyway, because I've had so much bloody fun with this one. But gentlemen, this game is hard, but not. Thank you very much. You all have a wonderful evening, and I will catch you on the next episode. Ciao for now.